Good afternoon, and what is a warm, bright, and sunny day. It is Wednesday, the 22nd of March, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea, and a small packet to unbox. So I'm just going to get my knife out, just cut through the packaging. Almost there. Knife's a bit blunt. But this has come from Hedgemaze Press, all the way over in Minneapolis. What I've got inside is this, which is Girl Underground, a role-playing game about a curious girl in a wondrous world by McManamon and Ross. And who in the world am I? That's the great puzzle. Girl Underground is a tabletop role-playing game but a curious girl in a wondrous world inspired by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Labyrinth, The Wizard of Oz, Spirited Away, and similar tales. So, follow a young girl's journey of self-discovery through a whimsical fantasy land with friends she meets along the way, explore twisted, willowy woods filled with, whisper soft lies, or tricky fairy rings with riddling promises, all on the way to overthrow an unjust ruler and eventually find your way back home. And it's for 3 to 5 participants, plays in 4 hours, ages 12 and up. So this puts the foreground of young girls or young boys. Essentially, it could be either really exploring a magical world and trying to get home. The classic story, of course, is Dorothy Gale in is Alice. In The Wizard of Oz, and Sarah Williams in Labyrinth, and Alice in Adventures in Wonderland. Now we've already got a Labyrinth role-playing game, and that's very, very good. From is it River Horse Press? Excuse me, and it's worth getting because you can play through it a few times. Different groups, different kind of encounters along the way. So unless you actually desperately want to go up against the Goblin King in this version, then I would recommend you go and get Labyrinth. As is also a lovely little book as well. So we open up, nice, plain, simple, kind of almost wallpaper pattern. Inside, I like that's kind of got a classical feel to it. There's the table of contents, and we've got the credits, the special thanks, and the playtesters, and got some really quite nice artwork there. I'm really quite impressed by that. It's quite nice. I wish that Serena gets a grateful hug from her rescuing Gun. And then we have Welcome to Girl Underground, inspired by Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and so on. It helps, Girl Underground helps you tell a story of a curious girl and the strange companions as they travel through a wondrous world, complete a quest, and find their way home. Throughout the journey, the girl learns about herself, discovers the values that are important to have, and challenges the world around her. What you need to play is a recipe of ingredients for the successful game Girl Underground, one story guide. There are 3, 2 to 4 players for each adventure, at least 2 6-sided dice, but a pair for each player, 1 pencil, 1 per player, printed playbooks for the girl and each of her companions, and 12 index cards, basically which handle things like beliefs, manners, and safety tools. And we've got a guide to being a player there, a list of all the things you need, guide to being a player, and also being the story guide. And we've got a discussion also of expectations, gender, and safety, and useful tips for a storytelling game like this. I don't need any role-playing game, so we're talking about the girl's gender. The girl is someone who identifies as a girl at the start of the game, but she may not have been assigned female at birth, so it addresses that as well. And of course, you've got safety tools listed as well. Parts of the game, explaining what they are: playbooks, dice, moves and rolling the dice. We have moves and roll the dice. Rolls 6 or less lead to the weirdness, danger, or setback. group. Rolls of 7 or higher lead to success. So, for example, answering a moves question. Stand tall. Roll when you step in the way to defend the goal. What injury or insult do you shrug off? Essentially, so that happens on a 7+. So, and then you so on a 7 to 9, ask the guide or ask the girl, how do I know you wanted to stand up for yourself? Or 6 minus, ask the guide, what bigger threat have I missed? So that's how it works. And we've got manners and beliefs, because they'll come into it as well, because the girl is sort of like, as all the characters are going to will have their beliefs tested, their manners probed, and sort of like check to see whether they have any, or what they need to gain. Again, fantastic artwork. Cat reprimands Tigger for trying to eat Mrs. Costly Copperpot. And it's fantastic, lovely artwork in here. Really do like it. And then we've got the playbooks for the different characters. So there's the girl and her moves. My one grumble about this is you've got the girls. So you've got the girl, and there's essentially her background. Well, you calculate the girl, and you've got her moves on the back. Now, surely that would have been better if you'd done it as a 2-page spread, so you could just copy that a little bit easier. I think that would have been better. I'm going to do the same for the beast and so on all the way through the book, just to make it easier, rather than flipping pages. The constructs, you've got the beast. So in the case of Wizard of Oz, Dorothy Gale. The Beastie, the Cowardly Lion, the Construct, the Tin Man, and so on. And then you've also got the Fawn, so for a more magical creature, and then something truly mythic. The Ogre, and again, you can easily take these and map them onto the film, or essentially a story of your choice, just as I've sort of done, the Runaway, and then you've got a list of manners and so on, which will be interrogated as part of the game. Role of the story guide, and the principles that she will be adhering to, her moves, so on. So, separate or bring them together, put them in a weird spot, and your moves help you nudge the story along by creating interesting situations or problems. When a player rolls 6 or less, when the perfect moment strikes, or when they look to you to see what happens next, choose from among the following: separate them or bring them together, make the world even weirder, incapacitate but never kill them, threaten but never kill them, take something from them, turn their move back on them, and so on. And then we've got a discussion of things like your locations. So we've got the Adventurer's Tomb, almost a Baba Yaga figure on chicken feet. The Bazaar, the Dragon's Den, Fairy Ring, Hall of 10,000 Masks. All the sense of mythical and the wonderful to this, the fantastic, the Painted Circus, the Restless Wreckage. These are all fantastic locations, and of course you're going to bring these to life. You've got a list of all the characters in each one. For example, so the Painted Circus, you have the Ring Mistress, the Axe, Snoot Flooper Critic, the Troubles, saying, props and questions, and a guide on how to. So essentially, you've got the NPCs, how to use the location, props, and questions you might ask when the characters are there. Slumbering City, of course, somewhere a bit more restful. The Tea House, or maybe not. The Throne of the Crying King, the Whispering Willows, and of course, during play you don't necessarily have to visit all of these. So there's obviously chances to revisit these. or in another game, Wolf and finally the Wolfwood are followed by the game itself, discussing how it's run, how it's play, so setting expectations and tone, safety tools, the girl 50 minutes essentially, finding the door 10 minutes, and this is really almost essentially here's what you should be doing within about this time frame. Don't necessarily have to adhere to that strictly, but close to it. There we go. So advice and so on, just taking the game master step by step by the process of running the game. And then we have an example of play creating the girl, and then playbook advice at the back, followed by a list of names, and again some lovely artwork. See Dorothy Gale's chicken, and some kind of, either that's possibly the fawn or the mythic or something like that, but that's really rather cute. So yeah, that is Girl Underground, a storytelling game about a girl's mythic adventures and finding herself and finding her way back home. It plays, I'm going to look at it, it's sort of like, it's a bit like Powered by the Apocalypse light. That's no bad thing, but it's not obviously that. There's certain similarities, but lovely little game. I think with a certain group that will work very well. The only problem I think essentially is that you do have one sort of like character, the girl who's going to be the star. So you've got to take that into account, and everyone needs to have a chance to shine, because it is always going to be about the girl. I think that's the only downside to this. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, do please click on the like button down below, and of course if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box or a package or just simply an envelope containing a book or game, which I'll unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then do please click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.